just close out my email and make sure I have the screen up. I chose DoorDash for my first one.
Okay, great.
Okay, so I'm gonna come over here.
So
Come back,
this is just a
share.
heuristic evaluation of a website.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I did websites. I mean, I guess it could be apps too, right, Sherry?
Yeah, it could be websites, it could be apps, it could be features within the apps or the websites. It can be as small or as large as it needs to be. Depends on what the issues are. So don't feel
I mean,
like there's a prescribed thing.
It could even be a physical product, not a software product, and those they still
Absolutely.
apply, right?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
So
Can
just
you see
based on
my
the,
screen
yes,
and not my notes? Okay.
no, we see your notes.
You
we
see
see your
the, it's
notes.
fine. I mean, can you see the screen big enough though? That's more
Yeah,
important, I guess.
yeah.
Okay.
So I just wanted to point out that, there was 10 heuristic, there's 10, can't think of the word. Anyway, there's 10 of them, 10 things to look at. And I ask you to just pick 2 and to apply them to two websites if you can, and just see how that felt. And so that's what you're going to show us. And which 2 did you pick? Did you pick the same 2 for both sites or just one site?
We had to do 2 sites, right? And 2 heuristics.
Uh-huh.
So I did 2 different sites.
2 different sites. Did you use the same 2 heuristics?
Oh no, I used different heuristics.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I wanted to mix it up.
Perfect.
I don't know what I'm trying to do, but I was trying to like have 2 screens. Anyway, it doesn't matter if you see my notes. Usually it has it separate though.
Well, you could, yeah.
I just see people. I don't see your
You can do
screen.
just the present, or do you need the notes?
Yeah, I kind of, let me just pull up the notes on my other screen. So
Okay.
yeah, I kind of want it just
Sure.
as a reference. Yeah, I
Sure.
stopped sharing. Whoever said they can't see. Yeah, I stopped.
Well, while she's pulling that up, let me ask you something. So I was using a piece of software called Jira, and I was doing a free trial, and they had this this little quick start thing, like to help you learn how to do it. And the quick start was over top of stuff, and it, like, no matter what you did to the screen, it stayed over top of what I needed to see. Would one of those heuristics apply to that?
Probably so.
Which one do you think?
Well, let me pull some up and see which one I think. If my dog is being really annoying. Let's see.
And the heuristics are all on that Nielsen Norman page that
Yes.
was on the main. So that's going to stay. I'm going to get that link.
Yeah, it's on the Nielsen Norman. Let me get that. If you go to the NNG group and just look for heuristic, it's there. Let's see. Let's see.
I like that little tiny thing that showed them all in one.
On my.
Yeah, this is like you got to scroll.
Yeah, this one was actually from, let's see, I'll put the link in. How about I'll put the link in the chat here so you can grab it and pull it up. Well, I say that. Okay. Copy. There we go. Yeah, I grabbed his version, Adam Ford, because I like his version of it too, like that little smaller ones. I think you have to scroll down a little bit, middle of the fourth of the way down, and you just do the little pictures. So
There it is.
Yeah. Flexibility and efficiency of use, I think number 7 would and like to help users with errors. Or maybe even number 3, the user control and freedom, because if you weren't able to move that out of your way, Deb, so if you're not able to move that out of the way, then it can, it's interfering with your ability to get your job done.
It was definitely interfering.
So it was kind of counterintuitive, right? It's supposed to be helping you learn the system, but it's keeping you from seeing what you need to see. And if you're not able to put it in a different place and drag and drop it somewhere else, did you try to do that?
I did.
Uh-huh.
I did. I even tried, like resizing it so that it would find a new home. No, it stayed right over top. They must have had the same rules for, the piece of information that I needed that it was covering.
Yeah.
Yeah, because no matter what I did, I couldn't see under that.
Yeah,
button.
that's so counterintuitive. That's so crazy. So it would fall under, one of those probably efficiencies. It could probably fall under one of those 3. And that's the great thing about these is they're kind of, squishy as far as there's no rigid thing that it falls under. And then like Vanetta said, there's a lot of interpretation to this. So go ahead and share your screen, Vanetta, and whenever you're ready.
Okay. All right. So this is DoorDash's website.
Mm-hmm.
And for this one, I chose heuristic number 2, match between system and the real world.
Mm-hmm.
So here the iconography at the top matches their real world counterparts and makes it easy to know visually what they're referring to.
Right.
And these are common icons that users have seen on other websites and apps.
Sure.
So while some aren't,
I'm sorry, I missed the first part. What matches with what?
This is heuristic number 2, a match between the system and the real world. So using the iconography.
Okay.
So yeah, like for desserts, they're using a slice of cake, or for the breakfast, it's like a breakfast platter. But so most of these are very obvious, but some aren't exactly clear. So it's helpful to have the description below, because fast food, I mean, I guess you would understand like this, like McDonald's French fries could represent fast food as a category, but maybe not everyone knows, or maybe different cultures don't understand the same things. So yeah, like burgers is very obvious, chicken, healthy. So the salad, it's like, what does that represent?
Healthy.
Yeah, AKA, is it just salads? And then that might turn some people off.
Yeah.
No, that's too healthy. Okay, so then the next one, hold on. Okay, the next heuristic is number 1, visibility of system status. So here you can't see the animation, but when you hover over one of the food icons, it animates. So you see the first one where it's static, and the second one, it's like a tossed salad. So it lets you know that it's an active link and that you can click on it to get into that category. And it's like, yeah, it has like a light blue circle around it also, like a circle. Yeah. I thought that was cute. Usually you don't see that. Usually you see a link, or you see like the color changes.
But it tells you that you're on it.
But oh, it just means you're on it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And it's active, and that means you can click on it. Okay, should I go to the next? Or
yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Then the next one this is for the Brooklyn Museum. So this one is heuristic number 4, consistency and standards. So the layout of this website is using a standard 3-grid system, with each container having an image, a headline, and text. And this creates a cohesive look and visual identity while showcasing the main objective, which is showing off their artworks.
Right.
So it's like, yeah.
It just looks like those top 3 are smaller than the bottom. Is that because of an active state?
I think that's when I did the screenshot, and I noticed, I was like, it's not really, let me just go to the website and see.
It may be because the others are in an active state or not. I don't know.
Yeah, so they should be consistent. Let's see if it looks that way on the site. Yeah, on the site it's fine. I think it's just a screenshot.
Okay.
They did a good job making sure it's consistent. Yeah, and it should be like the same, because they probably just have the grid and you just drop in the elements so
Mhm.
that, you know, it's everything's the same size.
Right, right. So
But
the
as you can
fonts,
see,
the
mhm,
treatments, the weights of the fonts, the size of the pictures, everything, and the space in between the pictures, everything is right
mhm,
on. And see how that first one has a little bit more information than, say, the second one. And
yep,
so they've accommodated for that spacing between that and the picture below it, you know, for the second one.
mhm,
So there's a little bit more space, but you can see the eye is, it's okay to have a little bit of blank space.
right. And I was going to bring that up. That's a good point too, that for like climate in crisis, there's information on the start and end dates of the exhibit, whereas the next one doesn't have that. So I'm not sure. So that is a little inconsistent. They don't have the dates, but the third one does. And then in the second row, they don't have dates. So maybe this is part of their permanent collection,
That's
and the
what I
top
thought.
row
Yeah,
is their, you know, special exhibits, but they don't say that on the website. So, I
Yeah,
mean,
maybe they should.
you, yeah, maybe they need to distinguish that, because right now it just says exhibitions, and maybe it's kind of like you understand what this means. Like if there are dates, that means it's limited, and if there aren't dates, I mean, I would know that. I think most people going to museums would probably understand that. So that's probably what they were thinking,
Yeah, and then the
actually.
other one's now open, so it's not, is it a new permanent one? You know,
Right, right. Good, yeah, good point.
yeah.
And
So
then
it
the
looks like
last one.
it gives you the illusion that it's exactly the same, but there's actually a few little improvements that can happen there.
Mm-hmm. And also you see how they have the orphan line on the last on the second row floor. That's
Mhm.
usually a no-no
Right,
in like journal or print journalism. I guess
right,
some of the same practices in web design, but
exactly.
yeah. And it's like, well, this is a longer, you know, the location, the gallery is longer than like the Beaux Arts court, which can just fit on one line. So,
Well, and
and then they,
that's when they
yeah.
need to look at you look at the font size between those and the one
Oh,
under
yeah.
November. I mean, up in
Yeah.
the top right, there's
They
a little
look
bit smaller.
different.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's smaller and it looks like a thinner, yeah, and it's darker.
Hmm.
Whereas on the bottom, it's a gray. So there's a little inconsistency. They have consistency, but then I guess they're just like, well, it's flexible.
Well, I mean, at first glance, like we were saying, at first glance, it looks really, you know, consistent,
Consistent.
at
Yep.
first glance, but then, you know, you start picking it apart and you
Yeah.
found about 4 or 5 things there they can fix.
Right. Yep. Yep. And then for the next one, I have heuristic number 5, error prevention.
Mhm.
So on the ticketing page, it's explained in detail how to purchase tickets. Actually, it's like very detailed, but I think they have to do that because they want to make sure people understand what they're getting up front. So they include suggested practices on getting, you know, time tickets,
Mhm.
and what exactly the ticket will provide access to, because they put in parentheses that not all the galleries will be open. So then you can check to see what's on view. So you know, okay, this is what I came to see this, and is it open or not? And then this helps minimize surprises or confusion later,
Mhm.
because they say this is what you get with your ticket. Make sure you try to get time tickets and all that. They give you everything up front. And I know it's a lot of information and maybe people won't read it, but if you don't, then that's your own fault.
Well, they're trying to at least help you, right? They're trying to help you do it correctly.
error
Yeah.
prevention means what?
I'm sorry?
Hmm.
What does error prevention mean?
That's the number 5 heuristic. That's the one where it's kind of
Yeah.
keeping you from making a mistake. And so it's trying to keep you from maybe they've noticed common mistakes that people are making, like they're buying tickets and then they're the thing that they wanted to come see, the gallery was not open, and they're like, well, you need to check it before you buy a ticket because they changed.
Mm.
And so they're trying to tell you that so you don't get caught in that. It could be um, uh, just how to fill out form, you know, how to the format of the date or the format of your email or something like that. It could be anything to keep you from making the mistake so that you can move on. And it's just informational.
I think that page is very clunky. Like Vanetta said, it has a lot of text, and I understand it's explaining it, but
Yeah,
at the bottom, they have not a member. It's sort of like, oh, okay. It's like they should have put it in boxes, or there must have been a better way to visually design that where it wasn't like reading a book.
yeah. Well, this
I
is
agree.
just looking at if they provide error prevention or not. This is just, you know, one of those touch points like, yes, they do. It probably could be designed better, but the heuristic prevention heuristic is there. So
Okay.
they're not going to be dinged on the error prevention. They may be dinged on, you know, the ease of use heuristic for this, because it may not be as easy to use, but they're at least trying.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my take on that one. So, okay. Well, that's a great job, Annetta. I really like that your examples there. I don't know if y'all had,
Thank you.
were any of y'all in the one with, what is her name? She did the OOUX, Sonia
Oh,
Prater.
yeah.
So she gave a great example on Netflix, and let me see if I can pull that up, and I'll show you an example of what she did. And she was showing it for another reason, but I think it falls great in line with this. So let me pull that up. Oh, where did I put it?
Yeah, I wish I found a better example, to be honest, for the error prevention, but I thought this was different, so it was good to include
Yeah.
something. But I like other more like common examples, like, okay, you don't want to like buy something, like you put something in your cart and they always give you like an out before you buy it.
Right.
I know Amazon, I think this is probably a dark pattern where they're like, oh, click now or buy now. And I'm like, no, because I don't know what that means. Is it going to charge me right away? Is it going to give me a chance to look in my cart? Because one time I almost shipped something to the wrong address because it had like a different
Right.
address and things like that. So, I mean, sometimes they have good practices and other times I'm like, oh, that's iffy. I don't like the one click or buy it now because I want to look at it before.
Yeah.
I never
buy it.
use Buy Now because I'm afraid they'll go, okay, here's the receipt.
Exactly.
A good example.
I mean, we can probably look at Amazon's website and do a lot.
Well, Amazon does have some things that are not consistent, like let's see, and Sonia pointed those out. There's I'll share my screen with my okay, so we're just going to share Amazon. Okay. So, you know, you've got this is under my husband's account. We just ordered some things. So it's got all the stuff we have up there. So if you look into Prime Video, so you have all the videos. You can buy Prime videos or see what's in your Prime and you can watch. So you have all these. You can add it to your watch list. And then let's go to Bestsellers, which are books. Totally different layout. Totally different layout with different departments. And then you have, let me see, was the music, Prime Music.
They had like 3 different music categories. Like, what's the difference?
I know.
Oh my God.
So look,
Too
it's
much.
all different. Every one of them it's like a
Oh,
different
wow.
company for each
This
one.
looks
And
better to me.
Yeah. So then there's,
That's very different.
yeah, and then there's bestsellers, movers and shakers, and then of course they sell products. They sell so many things. I'm sure it's very difficult to organize it all into one
Yeah.
view, but you have different find a gift. You have a different layout depending on what you pick. So there's no consistent user experience, right? So okay,
That candle's hilarious.
I know.
It's just random stuff too. It's like,
Yeah,
I couldn't do, I mean, I shop on Amazon, but it's like, this would just stress me out. It's like too many
right.
options.
It's way too many options. But one thing I do like about
That's
Amazon
cool.
is that you scroll down, you see all of this, you see what's on Prime, and you've got different shots of it. But I really love the comparison and the reviews at the bottom. So give you product description and then products related to this item. And then sometimes you can do it, there's a comparison, and then you can go into the reviews. So I like that there's that information, and I really do look for the reviews, and it's really important that I read them, because I feel like, I'm hearing from a real person who has it and not just the selling part of it. And we know reviews is really good because you're relying on somebody else who took the time and didn't get paid to do it. So I like that about it, but usually the purchasing experience is consistent. But like you said, if I were to add this to my cart, and then it tells me my cart item is up here, and it keeps trying to sell me an Amazon card. But if I proceed to check out, and I have to sign in, I'm not gonna sign in, but I proceed to check out, and then it lets me go through the payment system and all this stuff, and it checks everything, and then you say, okay, bye. There's times where I have gone through the whole thing and then didn't hit the buy button, and I'm like, where is it? It's still in my cart. I didn't do it, So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also I've noticed, because I buy so many books from them, is that it'll say sometimes frequently bought with, and they show books,
right.
but then they say people who bought this also either looked at or bought this, and they'll show some other books.
Okay.
And you find that helpful. I like that.
Yeah.
It's like, what else do I want to buy? It's like they're luring you in, but it's also helpful.
Yeah, and that's what I was just learning this week, personalization versus customization. And personalization is based on the user's actions and what they did before. And that's like, you bought this, so we're going to show you these things that are related that you might want. That's personalization. But customization is just customizing to that flow of the job to be done, kind of thing. It's not personalized. It's just customized for the system. So it's just a little bit different, and one of them is based on the user's actions and the other one is not. So
what would be an example of customization?
Customization, let's see. I wish I think I put that in the yeah, I think I put it under random. Yeah. Okay. So customization is the action of modifying something to suit a particular individual or task. It's more like, it's not that person didn't do it. So both functions involve manipulating the marketing content and services or products, but with customization, the user guide changes directly. See, for personalization, the provider or producer creates those changes. For example, let's say you frequently dine into a fast food restaurant. A customized experience would be telling the server what toppings you want to put on your burger.
Yeah.
But and how much of those you would like. If the experience were personalized, the server would have memorized your favorite order and have it made for you without you asking.
That's a
Does that
great
make sense?
analogy.
How would it work on
That's
a
a good one.
website, for example, a website or an app?
Well,
Customization.
because like, well, it's like I was
Software.
saying, Amazon personalizes some of the stuff for me because they personalize some of it for me because they're saying this is what you bought in the past. This is what you might like. This is customized for you.
Personalized for you.
Personalized for you.
But what's that website example where they've customized it?
Well, let me think about that.
Okay.
I have one.
And okay, go ahead.
I can jump in, I think, with one, because now that you use that analogy with the
Yeah.
server, that
Uh-huh.
worked well for me because I had the same question. I'm like, what's the difference? Okay, but customize, so personalize is when it's the product or the company is personalizing it to you based on your previous activity, and they know like, okay, this is what you're looking for. Here's some suggestions. Customization can be like, we were talking about this in class about Apple Music, where when you onboard with the app, you choose the genres of music that you want to listen to.
Yes.
So
yes.
then it's customized to your taste instead of, because they don't know you yet, they don't know your habits yet, but this way you're customizing it. And then it will be personalized because then it knows, it has like a baseline to go off of, and it knows like what type of music you like. So now we're going to suggest these artists, and then you can tell the algorithm yes or no, that's, you know, I like pop music, but I don't like that song or that artist, and then it'll continuously personalize it, but it's based on your custom criteria that you input.
Yeah, and the now that you said it with the music, Pandora lets you put a finger, that's, you know, up or down. Like you said,
Yeah.
I can pick the station or the place, the playlist. That's customizing it. I don't want country music or whatever, but then a song comes in, like you said, an artist I don't like, I can down, you know, put a down thing and it won't play those songs anymore. So now it's personalized list. It's personalizing it as I go.
Does the user always customize it? Whereas you may customize it as the user, but Amazon or Apple will take your information and personalize it based on your customizing it.
Perfect.
Correct?
Yes. Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, you got it.
Good example. Thank you.
Or I think it could also be because they're watching what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I mean, Facebook is definitely personalized. The ads that you get and the things that you say, you know, because I mean, I don't know how many of you have been walking and talking about something and then you get an ad on Facebook that's exactly what you were just talking about.
They're
Uh-huh.
always listening.
So
Yep.
that's personalizing it by listening to you, and it's getting creepy. So try to keep it out of the creep level. So let me see. I know that I had that example. I really want to show that to you. I should have brought it up. Let me. No, Sophia sent it to me in an email if I have to go back to that. Sophia. Okay. Those attachments. It may have been down here. Sorry about that, but I think this is a good example of what of that some of those heuristic ideas. So object oriented. Just do a search. Okay. Well, I have the video. We have the slides too, I believe. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But the thing is, and I was going to sign into Netflix and show you, but then my password's not working for some reason.
Do you want me to pull up mine?
Yeah, if you want to.
No
I
idea
think-
what my password is. I only hope I have it automatic.
What is this called? What is this heuristic recognition versus recall where it's just automatically?
Yes, exactly.
I love this. That's, yeah, I was gonna put like password, but I wasn't, yeah, I thought that was a good one maybe, but here we go.
Okay. So if you go under, just go under yours and we can just look at, so if you say, scroll down and find one that you had, well, just click on one. Okay, now see, in this card, you'll see you've got the plus sign there so that you can add it to your watch list, right?
Yep.
Okay, so if you were to click into that, of course, we can turn the sound off, but click into that.
Oh, okay.
And now scroll down. Well,
It's playing it. So do you want me
Okay.
to not play?
yeah, so just go back
Go
out.
to the card.
Yeah, that
I see what you're
card.
saying. Yeah, see, this is what annoys me
It's
because I think it starts playing it. And I'm like, I don't want to play.
right.
There's a play button, but if you click the card, I just want to find out. Okay, find out about it. Is this
Yeah.
what it's?
But
No.
then if you go back to
More info.
one that you've seen
Okay,
and you really liked,
I saw this one.
okay.
And
Now,
it's,
and if you, where is it that you can scroll down and see like
the
movies
details,
like,
right?
yeah, well, the details, yeah. Okay, so that one has a little plus sign there. So scroll down and see, like, I want to
Or like
watch
this.
Marriage Story, right? Well, where's the card? Where on that card can I put that on my watch list?
Right. Let's see. Is it going to start playing it?
Yeah,
Yep.
it's just
I
gonna
don't want-
start playing it.
and I
Instead of
don't
like, I don't
know.
want, I just want to put it
Oh.
on my watch list. I don't want to watch it right this minute.
Maybe I was covering up the controls. So now on the lower right. Nope. Nope.
You were not, because they're not there. But they're on the card in the front,
Yeah,
but
that's
they're not
annoying.
on that card on the more like this area.
I think this
So
is one of these things that came up for me before too. Like it's,
Mhm.
that's why I was kind of, because I don't use it on my laptop. Normally it's on my computer, I mean on my TV,
mhm.
but this is still annoying. You can watch on your laptop, so it should give you that option.
Well, and the thing is I don't know that it's, available on the TV or laptop, but it's annoying because you expect to be able to say, okay, I want that one, so you can put it on your list there. When it's in this state, in this card, you can put it on there at the top, but the related ones,
More
it
like
just
this.
starts playing. You don't have a
Yeah.
way to check out the information or whatever. So it's like, it's really annoying. You have to go through that process. And Sophia was pointing out that she would just
Yeah.
let it start. How she got around that was she would just let it start and then go back and add it. It's just like,
Oh, so you could just click on it, let it. So if she went in here and then she went to related.
yeah.
Oh no, this isn't.
See,
Again.
this is not a good experience. This is.
Okay, I'm gonna try one more time.
What heuristic is this?
That's good.
This
Oh,
is
here.
the ease of use.
Yeah.
I would think the ease of use
And user
because,
control too.
yeah, user control is not there, because if you wanted to say, I want, American Son on there to be, I want to put that on there to watch later, and I want to check out a little bit more about it. You can add this top one to your playlist, but you can't add the more like this ones.
Yeah.
So these are just using the add to my playlist function is not consistent all the way through.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing, and it's not a consistent experience. So
Yeah.
but that's thanks for pulling that up and sharing. But that's, we have somebody trying to get in. Okay. So
Yeah. Do you think people overlook these things sometimes because the benefits outweigh these like little friction points?
yeah, I think they get around it. I have watched people in contextual inquiries where you're sitting there watching someone do their work and you're like, what are you doing? And they're like, well, it won't do this, so I'm working around it. I'm doing this and that. And that's just the way it is, because that's the only way they can get the work done. But that shouldn't be that way. And they just accept it. And they get used to doing it that one way, whether it's right or wrong, and it's excused. So if we can get around that, just to give you an example, my one of my contextual inquiries was, I used to work at iHeartMedia, and I went to the traffic managers hub. This is where they are scheduling people, scheduling ads on the radio, right? They're dragging and dropping these lines of advertisers into these slots of the scheduling. And the schedule can be, just think about this, your advertisers are 15 seconds, you have 5 seconds intros, 5-second outros, you've got 30-second or 15 seconds commercials, 1-minute commercials, you've got programs in between there, you've got all the stuff that needs to be accommodated for. So you could have a 24-hour period on a radio station that has 600 lines. Okay, so just imagining how complicated that can be. Well, these people, they see that there's a ad in, say, the morning drive time, and between 6 and 9 a.m. and they are needing to move it because that advertiser doesn't mind it being in the afternoon. That can be run anytime during the day. They're just flexible with that. So they said, I have this other one that has said it has to run at 7 a.m. So I'm going to move this one down to the bottom, and I'll move this other one down from the bottom to the top so that it fits, whatever. So I can make a 1 minute into 2 30-second spots, right? So you're just moving some stuff around. And I sit there and watch this person drag one from the top all the way down to the bottom, 600 lines, all the way. They're just sitting there, go scroll. And then they get the bottom one, and then they drag it, and they drop it a few times, and they drag it. And where did it go? And dragging it back. I said, oh, that's so painful.
Yeah,
that is
it
so
sounds like
painful to watch. And I said, do you do this every day? And they're like, yeah, everybody does it. There's 40-something traffic managers. They're all doing it. So I'm like, how much time are they wasting just dragging and dropping because they don't know any other way to do it, right? And there wasn't another way to do it in the system that they had. So we were building a new system.
Wow.
So I went to the developers and I'm like, okay, look, this is what they're doing. This is how painful this is. And I explained it to them, and I said, can we do it to where they just click this one, click that one, and swap? And he's like, oh yeah, no big deal. And I'm like, oh, let's do it. So we did it, and we shared it with them, and they were like, oh, we didn't even know that was possible in the world. And it was used.
They didn't even ask.
Didn't even ask. Did not even ask. So they didn't know. And they didn't know it was possible. They didn't know it was, can be remedied. They didn't complain about it. It was just an observation. And we were tracking how many times that was used as opposed to a different kind of move. If they're just moving it up or down or whatever, if they're just shifting it, or if they're swapping, or if they're moving it to somewhere else another day or something. And it was used over 40% of the time by the users. So everything else was like 12%. There's all these other moves were like 12%, 20% or less. 40% was like huge. They were using it every day. So we knew that was a feature that was really successful. And now, if I had not been there watching her do it and observing that, it's just that was a lot of wasted time. And so it was not user friendly. It was not even considered as an issue. Like you said, the users don't even realize how much trouble they're going through just to get it done. Now, you've got those that are people that this is employees. They find a workaround. But users, on the other hand, are like, I'm out. You're making me think too hard. I don't get paid for this. I am out. So it depends on your user on how much tolerance you have. For sure.
So that they didn't have to click it and drag it down to the bottom at the end of 600 lines. But if they could click this one and click this one and swap them, wouldn't they still have to scroll all the way down to the bottom to get the one that they're going to switch with?
Yeah, but just a quick scroll down to the bottom and they know where they're going. They could definitely get down there faster. And we put a jumper on the side as well. So they could jump down to the 7 p.m. and find it. And there it is. And then now that's checked and that's checked. And you right click and the swap appears and you swap them.
Wow.
Got it.
So that was a lot of fun. I was so happy.
That was a great solution.
Yeah. But
how did you know to investigate this in the first place?
Well, I just went down to watch them do their work.
Okay.
Just to see what it took to do their job. And what I found was it was an older system. They had inherited a lot of legacy systems. And so they had probably, those little Windows 95 type little screens. There's little boxes and they had like 10 of those all across three monitors. And they had to keep remembering where they were.
Oh my God, yeah.
Always put 2 over here and this over there. So we were trying to incorporate all of that into one view. And I think we did a pretty good job. They were able to get their efficiency because the traffic managers, the traffic manager had anywhere from 2 to 4 stations at a time. And they were able to go to 8 stations each. Because of the efficiency, they were able to man 8 stations because they automated a lot in the background and they put a lot of rules in there. So it would automatically schedule some things. And all the traffic managers were working the exceptions, things that there wasn't a space for, they were making space for them. So they were able to make it more efficient. The whole thing was that they were, working to make things more efficient so they can get more stations on. So,
yeah.
So is that an ease of use heuristic or what?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Ease of use for sure. But yeah, so back on the heuristic list, I think I sent y'all, didn't I send y'all the video and the slides? I think I sent y'all the slides too. Or the link to the, Deb, you're talking while I'm mute.
Sorry about that. On the meetup, you actually put the YouTube twice, and the link to the slides was or to the Google Docs, I think was
Yeah.
the same as the YouTube.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
When you copied and pasted, you did the same one twice.
Oh, I was tired.
If you want to go back,
Yeah.
I don't know if you even care.
Yeah. I'll put the slide, the Google Docs link. Let's see.
In last week's meetup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me.
While you're doing that, so I've got another one. My son and I were ranting about this.
Okay.
Firefox is changing their logo again, and Google's changed all of their logos so many times that
Right.
I'll be, on my phone and I'll be like, the Play Store looks like something else, and they're just like not different enough, and they change them like once a year. And in my opinion, that's like crazy, and it breaks the consistency rule. I want to be able to look at the icon on my phone and recognize it, even if it's been 2 years since I used it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, they're also, fighting against staying fresh. So, I'm not sure.
Like,
there's a business need for it, I'm sure, but because they're trying to
they
keep
just
things
keep
fresh.
they just keep changing them. And Firefox is going to, if I could share my screen and show you if you want.
Sure.
Share screen. There it is. This one. Can y'all see that? Oh, hit share. Do you see this? Oh, and there's us. I'll put you down there.
Yep.
So like this is the evolution of the Firefox logo, and this purple one in the middle is what they're going to. So it doesn't even have a fox in there anymore. And like, to me, if that's the tail's even going the other direction now. So if I was like on my phone and, scrolling through the list of icons and I wanted to bring Firefox up, would you think that was Firefox? Like this one I would recognize, this one I would recognize, but this one, anyway.
Ooh, they're going to have a lot of backlash, I think.
Yeah, I
Why'd
think
they
so
get rid
too.
of the fox?
Yeah, to go minimalist, I guess.
But that's like their whole branding. Yeah, that's interesting. When are they? This is brand new?
Yeah, like let's see what this TechCrunch thing says. What's the date on here? Oh no, it's June 11th, 2019. They must have thought better and not done it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. My son was the one that brought it up. So, okay, good. They didn't do it.
So if you open up Firefox now, what is it?
It's the one in the middle.
It's this one. That one. This guy?
Okay. Oh yeah, okay, good. They kept the fox. Okay.
They kept the fox.
It's the one in the middle that I'm seeing now.
Oh, it says it's more than a browser. Anyway, but it's 2019. They didn't do it. So anyway, that was just something that we were. Okay, how do I stop sharing?
Ooh, that's another. Can we do that for another like workshop?
What?
Sherry, like logo design or UI design?
Well, actually, I don't know if y'all saw this today. We just put out a new workshop for next month, for the whole month of March, every Monday night. James Curry is he's a lead designer, and he's going to be working on design systems. And that's, something that it's not so much logo, but I can actually see if we can do a logo workshop if you want. Are you wanting more designing or just a review of logo?
Just like an analysis. Like I like this kind of like we just look at different I mean, maybe it's not a workshop, maybe it's just like what we're doing today, like, but for like UI design, just kind of looking at logos and branding and discussing like what we think works great or showing some examples. I know there's another, like Instagram had their logo refresh a couple of years ago. There's one that had a lot of backlash. I don't remember.
Google's
there's one
was really bad because it was just like all the same Like, what are you looking at? The only thing that was different was the shapes, and you're like, people were giving a lot of, they changed it 2 or
Yeah.
3 times.
You know, and if you're in the car and you just want to hit the location one to bring up maps, they look so much like everything else that, you know, it's too, yeah.
Yeah, and that's why it needs to be tested in context. So, but I know we have just a little bit of time left. I wanted to share with you guys a resource that I found today, and I don't know if y'all have heard of REOPS, which is research operations, and
how's it spelled?
REOPS. So yeah. So REOPS is a little bit different than research, you know, like we're doing UX research, and we're talking specifically about methods and learning those methods, which is great because there's just like, now you learn how to use the hammer correctly. Now we are going to move on to the screwdriver. Now we're going to move on to the wrench, and you know what they're used for and when to use them and how to use them. So you're getting your toolbox ready, right? As a researcher. A REOPS is more like the management of the, it's the operations of research. And this things like, how do you categorize things and archive it? You know, how do you document it correctly? How do we stay consistent with all of that? And it is a whole different practice, but it is kind of like, I like to think of it as our ancestors are setting a place for us. So these are like really, really high, high up in the hierarchy, I would say, of research. These are our leaders. These are people who have been doing this for many, many years and have figured out that we've got to, you know, there's got to be a governance of research, right? There's got to be a right way and a wrong way to do things. And there needs to be some guidance. And they are setting that up. And I am on their Slack channel, and it's fascinating. But there's people in there who just are amazing, and they've written books, and they're authors, and they speak at you know, conferences, and they travel all over and all this before COVID and everything. But they were able to take this time and get together and map out what REOPS is, you know, what research ops is. And it's just fascinating. And I found some information on it today. Let's see, REOPS research. Let me just share my screen, and I'll take you through. Okay. I'm just using my one little screen here instead of my big one. Okay. So this is the resources page. And I just want to give y'all an idea. This, of course, there's a home, and this is what it is. This is their logo. So it's a global community, and it's all free. They're all volunteering their time to put all this information together. But I wanted you to be aware of it because it says it's an emergent consequence of knowledge work at scale. So if I'm going to design a research team, I need to have systems and policies and procedures, standards, all those kind of things in place, right? So that I can scale up and everyone's doing it at the same level. And that's what they are doing. And I've been following them for a while, and they have a Slack community. They have town halls, and there's videos of them. But I went into the resources, and you can see on the table of contents, there's governance, there's tools, there's list of tools, knowledge management, capabilities, guidelines and templates to use that they found that works, you know, that is helpful. And then you have how to do the recruitment. That's our biggest issue for you know, research is recruitment of users. Asset management, what do you do, once you get all these videos of all these users that you're, doing, what do you do with all that? And then research spaces, budget management, socializing and communicating, evangelizing the research. So now that you gathered all this information, how do you share it with your business, with your teammates, with other people? So there's lots of information on that. And I wanted to show you that they have gone through great lengths to gather this information and organize it in a way that we can use it. And like, here's a consent builder form. Here is an Airtable list of forms, templates, and guides. I'd have to sign in with Google. Let's see if I can get, okay.
We're just seeing the resources tab.
Uh-oh.
Are you showing something else?
Yeah. Let me see. I should be showing my screen. Just Chrome. Okay. Now, are you seeing Airtable?
Yep. Thanks.
What's Airtable?
Airtable is a kind of like an Excel spreadsheet on steroids.
Is it free?
Sort of. Just to access it, it is. Let me see. Where was I? Let's see. I was. Airtable list. Okay, so here's a list of information. This is a list of information that they have put together with research repositories. And they've put what is it about, what's inside it with the description. Here's the name of the file. There's all this information like user testing informed consent form. Consent, it's about consent. And it's from Ireland. So this is a global community that's putting all of this resources together. And you could probably just go in here and search. There's a search here. So I'm going to search for, let's see, heuristic. Here's a cheat sheet for cognitive biases, heuristic evaluation, heuristics and fallacies organized in a contextual informational thing. And that's coming, let's see, somewhere, yeah. So somebody in India put that on there. So now you can go and read about it. So I'm just saying, it's like there's tons of information in here and we haven't even scratched the surface. So let's see, let's go back. All right. So that's just one. There's a checklist of things to consider when developing that. And there's tools, knowledge management, capabilities, guidelines. There's the list to that, again, link to that. Recruitment, re-ops toolbox. Here's another Airtable. This is the toolbox. This is like, somebody says, Vanetta, like you're looking at a job description and it says must know, how to use the certain kind of Aurelius. Could go in here, look at it, and maybe even go in and look at a video and see, like, oh, okay, I can figure that out. You'll know what it's about. It does diary studies, file sharing, data analysis, and does audio, video, content management. So this is great resources, and I just wanted to let y'all know that was available, and I'll send you the link to it.
Thank you.
There
is so much information out there.
Yes, it's so much. But
just put it in the chat.
Yeah, I will.
Oh, okay.
I'm just I'm just letting y'all know it's out there in case y'all want to explore that, and that there is a community that's trying to, help us with this. And because there is so much information out there. But I want you to know that there are people, the experienced people who have done this for many years, tried and true, that know what's going on, have done this. And if y'all have not seen the research ops map. Okay. I want y'all, this is the 8 pillars of research. I'm going to send this to you. Copy the link. Okay. Look in your, in the chat window. Let's see. Okay. So if y'all want to pull that up individually and tell me what you see.
Oh, I thought I was muted. I remember seeing this actually, like I pulled this up
It just came
recently,
out
like yesterday.
Yeah, it just came out last year, but this is my dream world.
I don't
Welcome
know
to
who
my brain.
sent this. Someone shared this, but yeah, I didn't get a chance to read it because it's there's a lot, but it's great. It's like, wow. So what is this? Just all the different branches under research ops?
Yes,
Wow.
under research. So you see how rich UX research is. User
Yeah.
research.
Wow.
This is just user research and what needs to be managed. So there is so much to it. And if you zoom in on one of those nodes, those little circles, like I'm working on the bottom, on the left side, where I'm putting policies and procedures and guidelines together for my company. And I'm putting all that together so then we can onboard new people, and we're all doing it in the same way. Like if you're going to do a usability test, here's your checklist of all the things you need to do. And we're putting it together. And then I'll move to the next node and try to build that out, So but it's all moving around all the things you have to do with research.
Yeah.
So I wanted you to know that this is a very rich field. This is very, you're not going to get bored.
No. Thank you.
And it's a lot of fun, and you can nerd out on it. So,
yeah.
But if there's something you said you wanted to just do a logo review and, but just kind of,
I mean, maybe as a fun,
yeah,
I don't know if it fits into, because I just saw what you the email about the March 1st event. So it looks like we have workshops for March coming up. So I don't know where this would fit, or if this is even gonna work
it could
out,
be it can be a like or dislike discussion. And we can tell everybody, bring this amazing thing that you just found, because see, like Over Eats, I love their design. I love the way that it works. And because I feel like it's very intuitive and there's so much information, but I only see what I need to see when I need to see it. And then it tracks the food all the way to my house, and then it asks me how my food was. It's like, to me, that's such a great experience. And we don't share the things that we find delightful enough, and then there's things that just frustrate the hell out of you and you want to share it, like, so maybe we can have one of those too. And I like that, so we can,
okay, or like a good and a bad, like not just the logo, then maybe just the entire experience, the user journey.
But it could be, logo stuff. It could be whatever's annoying you, or things, great stuff that you've come across. So maybe the good, the bad, and the ugly. I don't know. We can pick ugly things.
Okay, that could be good. Yeah, that's good.
Because I was going to do an AMA at the last Monday of March, and just use that for people who are looking for jobs, and try to get some panelists on there that are hiring, and some recruiters and things like that to help. But I'm trying to do that too, but I think this would be fun. Maybe that would be a good thing. So April,
but
we
this
don't have
is
anything scheduled
great
for April, so maybe we can do that in April.
Maybe in April, yeah. But yeah, the workshops sound good. So each week it's something different.
Mhm.
So the first one, it's like Figma, design systems.
Well, this is a 4-week workshop on design systems. So the first one, they're going to onboard you and tell you about what design systems are, why they're needed, components of it, things like that. And then he's going to have you do 3 different things. You're going to talk about headers. You're going to talk, the font sizes, the weights and all that stuff, and try to keep that consistent. And then he's going to talk about buttons and then banners. So, and this is work he's doing for UXSA directly, so that we can use the work, that comes out of this, and people are learning along the way as well. Because we have a website that we just launched, and he started saying that we need to have some consistency across these, things. And our designer did a great job. She did an amazing job, but he was like, I can see where we can, tighten this up a little bit. So he's going to do that and teach people along the way. And this is his first time teaching, but he's excited. So he's from Chicago, and he's a senior designer, and he's excited to do this. So I think it's great that people get used to design systems, because no matter where you go, you're gonna see those. And they're really great because it takes a lot of the guesswork out of it, and it keeps things consistent. It helps the designers, it helps the developers, and of course the users, because everything's consistent. So but yeah, it'll be a fun workshop, and I hope it goes well, and that he has lots of people. But we didn't get all the information together until this Tuesday night, so we've been working on getting everything out.
Yeah,
Please
thank
sign
you.
up. I'm excited.
Well, good. Are you going to sign up?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, good.
I got the email, I don't know, an hour or more ago. And
Yeah.
I already signed up. I'm down with that. Yeah.
Okay,
It
good.
only had the first week. It didn't have.
Right. We haven't put all of it out yet,
Okay.
because he's working on his outline, and I said, just get the first week done and we'll build on it. You can tell what to expect on the next ones. But we also wanted to make it to where you can pop in and out of any of those. If you couldn't make the first one, you can come to the second one and still learn something new. But the first one's it's kind of design systems 101. It's just basically what are they for, when to use them, and that sort of thing. So
Oh, I'm excited. I can't
good.
wait.
Good.
Me
Good,
too.
good meetups. I love coming to this group.
Good. I'm
Me too.
glad. We're trying to accommodate what people are looking for. So just let us know if you have some ideas. Like Vanetta had the good, bad, and the ugly idea. So we're gonna do that. I think that'll be fun.
Well, I have a question.
Yay.
I started this internship last week, and there's 8 of us. And I finished this SMU certificate program this past fall, but the other ones are still in it. They're a little over halfway. And so there's a few things I've already learned that they haven't learned, but so we are applying UX, I guess, practice methodologies in an agile principles. And they have a software that helps companies developing software get metrics, information, and stuff. And one of the things that we're doing is called an agility assessment. So there's 5 questions that the user, the coach, or the team person, or the stakeholder, or whatever, gets asked, and then they can see from all the responses in a chart. And one is a spider graph, which I have never seen before.
Right.
And then a bar chart, and then an over time chart.
Mm-hmm.
And I ordered this book from Amazon today called something graphic. Anyway, so I would love to learn. I have background in painting and drawing, but in 3D design because I designed housewares and other products.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a creative suite. I've taken Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, all of that. I've taken typography, but not in years. I'm not a graphic designer. I don't sell myself as a graphic designer, but it's nice to have a few tools to work with so you can problem solve. And so when he is teaching us design systems, it's sort of the framework for the beauty,
Right.
the beautiful graphic
Right.
design. But what we're working on right now is that we have to redesign these graphics for this agility assessment. And I'm trying to understand. I know you can just look up data visualization and there's tons of it, but
Yeah.
where can you find something? I've never researched it and I don't know a whole lot about it. I don't know why you can look at a million charts, but I don't know why one is better than the other.
Sure.
And so the question is there information that will tell you why certain charts are more readable or visualizing data this way or that way works better?
Well, I'm going to give you a short answer and then I'll try to help with the longer answer. The short answer is it all depends on the content that you're trying to display. So in UX, there's that's the answer for everything. It depends.
I know. My teacher,
That's the short.
I was like, I'm like, he's just going to say it depends.
It depends. But if you know the content that you're trying to display or that you're trying to do, there's not some of them. There are charts, let me back up. There are charts that are better suited for, if you're comparing two things, the bar charts that are side by side would better show one's more than the other, that sort of thing, depending on what the variables are. But there's certain things that show, like you said, there's over time. There's like analytics. I want to see something over time. I don't want to see anything in that moment. I want to see what's happening in a trend, that sort of thing. So there's.
Do you think it's mostly intuitive?
Yeah. So there's mostly, you have to figure out what you're trying to convey. And some charts are better than others. And it depends on how simplified you can make it. But yeah, like there's a reporting and results information, like you said, the spider one. There's one that's kind of like a node, like kind of like that REOPS screen that I showed you. That there's one that comes out of Optimal Workshop like that. Like they went down the happy path first, and then they went over here, and then they went over there. So it does tell me a lot of information. I don't know that I could have put that on a bar chart, So it depends on the message that you're trying to give.
So how can you, what is it that you're researching because basically, let's say there's 8 people being asked these agility assessment questions, and there's 5. Let's just say there's 5 questions, and in agility, there's the 4 areas that there's quality, value, delivery, and culture. And so you're asking questions as they pertain, our product is quality and it's delivered with no problem at a good cost or something. But there's also 12, based on 12 principles of agility. So you've got those 4 things on the outside and the 12 things on the inside and how they all connect. So I don't know agility well enough to really understand how to visualize that.
Okay.
Now, I guess the question,
Yeah,
go
is
ahead.
what is your deliverable? You're supposed to give a chart that shows all this information, or?
Basically, I can tell you what it does. It helps agile organizations start visualizing and managing metrics that will help them increase the ROI of their offerings. So in the internship, we're applying UX principles, values, and practices to collaborate with our product owner to create refined, sprint-ready backlog items that our developers can work on. But this is just sort of our first kickoff project. It's not a super long thing, but it's a lot of information to visualize, and I could see doing something that's not as complicated, but it just seems really complicated. I'm not sure how
it is. And I'm going to tell you that there are some ways that, you can look at it in different views. And I have done this before. Like, I have taken this information and here is what it is compared to others, So here are the answers compared to other people's answers. And here's what it looks like this way, but here's the overall sentiment, is more than, look at it in different ways. I encourage you to play around with the visuals and not try to fit it in a box, but play around with the different views and what speaks to you. And you may have to present it in 4 different views or 3 different views that can get the information across, but it depends on what information you're trying to convey. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So don't try to fit it all into one visual, because if it is complicated, then you may just do one question in one graph or one way, and you do the other question in a different one, So it depends on what you're trying to tell them, because it's not all going to fit. Like I said, it depends on the information.
Okay. Thank you. No, that helps a lot.
Yeah, good. All right. Well, I've kept y'all too long, but thanks so much for your time. And I hope y'all learned something.
Thank you so much for putting this together.
Yeah. Hope y'all learned something from Heuristic Evaluations. And I'm always on Slack. So feel free to reach out if you have any other questions. And
you're going to post the deck. You're going to do the other.
I did already.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I did already. The deck is there, but I'll put this recording in this one as well. So.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Y'all have a great night.
See you Monday.
All right.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.